Hey guys, welcome back. If you follow the channel then you may recognize this spot. I'm back in the Wollemi National Park and specifically here at the Colo River. Now, I must have been now a year ago I was here. I did a camp on the bank of the Colo just over there. Beautiful camp, a great time. However, the plan back then was to cross this river and to find a camp cave on the other side somewhere. And that's the plan for today. So I'm gonna look for a spot to cross the river. This looks kind of doable, just to walk through it. But I'm mindful that that is a little bit tricky. Some bigger slippery rocks. So as you can see, I brought my Sae-To-Summit dry bag. It's quite heavy. I actually got 5 liters of water with me. So I've got maybe total weight is maybe 8-9 kilograms, but again more than half of that is water. It's a 50-liter bag, so it has a huge capacity, but the problem is that's not a proper harness, so if you load it up it becomes more uncomfortable. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the bag. Sand. Okay then. Whew. So compared to my last camp here, the water levels are significantly lower. I would say probably by a meter or so, at least a half a meter. Because where I'm standing right now, I think that was all on the water last time. Alright, here we go. Whew. Yeah. Let's see, I've got yeah, I'm standing on a rock here, but that is the slippery bit, so I want to okay. Man, that is tricky. Tell you what. By the way, the water is really nice. It's not cold at all. Alright, I'm on the other side. Whew. I'll leave the stick here as a marker. Okay. Now, the hardest part. So the cave is on this side of the river, but I believe 1.5 kilometers roughly upstream. And although we got a sandbank here, that will stop in a couple of 100 meters, and then we have to go into the bush and just following the river until we find something that looks like and resembles a camp cave. How beautiful, huh? Those monitors, lizards. But that was a baby. The mature ones are pretty sizable, at least 1.5 meters. I could see this trail actually, and I was thinking, hey, a lizard has walked through this, and then I saw the one there in the tree. It's going really slowly, and I seriously don't know where it is and how far. Yeah, progresses really slowly. But I'm getting there. This is interesting. You got some driftwood here, but I'm standing about, I think a good 6 to 8 meters above the waterline of the river, so it goes to show how steeply water levels can rise here during heavy rain and prolonged rain. Well, here we are, Mars Cave. Way smaller than I expected. So this is the original logbook. 82, 86. Wow, that goes back quite a few years. Almost 45 years. 2001, 2009. This is now the 7th of 12th, 2025. Göran Jansen, Smiley. There we go. So the first entry that's readable is from 10th of May 1982. Walk alone. I have to be honest, an honest trail review. To get here was hard work, not easy at all, spectacular, but I have to say the reward was not great. I expected a way bigger rock overhang. So what I'm going to do, it's still early, it's 1:45 p.m. I'm going to relax, have some lunch, but I'm going to walk back. And I'm probably gonna camp somewhere on the banks or near the banks of the Colo, where we crossed the river earlier this morning. No, it's not a great spot. Definitely not what I had imagined it to be. I made some pasta. Gonna have that for lunch. It takes me about 2 hours to walk back. Plenty of space for tents. Quite a cool area for rock climbers. Definitely some bouldering problems here. The area here is not too bad. Quite a lot of features and stuff to explore. I'm gonna walk back to the trailhead, across the Colo, and then we will find a spot for camp. Actually taking a slightly different route back. I'm following really closely the shoreline here, which I have been doing since I left the cave. That means sometimes very steep sandbanks and some rock that I have to go around, but generally it's actually going quite well. But I would assume that's all dependent on the water levels. You can do it now obviously, but if the water's up by a meter or maybe 2 meters, then it becomes way harder. Oh God. Alright, I'm almost at the crossing. The river crossing that is. Whew. Yeah, it took me exactly 2 hours from the cave. Alright, we're back here. Oh, bit of a collection of sand. Oh. So my initial plan was to camp in the Mars cave, but it was very disappointing. Obviously I walked back, but I think I'm not going to stay the night. Probably going to walk back to the car. It's probably an hour from where I am now, so fairly quick to get back to the car and drive back home. It was definitely good to check out that cave. At least I know what it looks like. That's been on the to-do list for a little while. But for anyone who's interested, it's not necessarily worthwhile going out there unless you want to lie a little back maybe, or within, yeah, by the water. I think that's nicer. Not much current today. Obviously that makes the water crossing a bit easier. Well, that's all for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you next time. Put it wet. Looks a bit fragile though. Oh.